Welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to
Bon Radio.
And hold on to your hats, because it's time for Liftoff. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
0.
Come on, baby.
Ignition. Liftoff.
Come on.
Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time.
On Bon Radio. It's a show with no name. Let's go, folks. Come on, let's go. That's right, folks. That's right. Welcome aboard. It's the show with no name on Bon Radio. I trust that you guys are warmed up because you were with my buddy Fitz on his program, No Excuses. And after today's show, you can put your English to the test. That's right. You can test your English with the one and only Ximena Holiday. Then you've got Rob and Andy in the lunchtime show with their banter. Su chachara. I think that would be a good translation. And then you've got Tash Pasqua. She's fun, divertida. Oh, but she's serious. She means business. Ella va en serio. Oh, yeah. You can't be the teacher trainer for so many years and not mean business, because you have to lead by example, right? A good leader doesn't say do this. A good leader does it, and then the workers or whoever, the people watching, say, that's how I have to do it. And at least that's what I've noticed. Welcome aboard, folks. Welcome aboard. We learn English. We learn about culture, pop culture. Of course, there's music, movies, humor, and all that jazz. Y todo eso. All right. Show with no namers. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Show with No Name. We're going to play. We've got games. We've got so much to do on today's show. And maybe some of you didn't realize yesterday we didn't have a live show. They put on a repeat, and it's because I was filming some videos and taking some pictures. So we had to cancel the show yesterday. So don't worry, you're not going crazy, because I'm sure people are like, where is Alberto? Is it? I wasn't here yesterday. Okay, so you're not going crazy. I'm here to confirm you're okay. But I'm back, baby, and it's time for our pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on. Yeah. Pop quiz. Let's go. Pop quiz. Say it. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on. That's right, amigos. That's right. It is our pop quiz, examen sorpresa. And man, we've got a great show for you today. Today, we're going to look at a pop quiz from my great friend, Tosh Pasqua. I just mentioned her. I said her program, No Excuses, both on her program and in her classes. She means business. Va en serio. So we're going to learn a little bit from Tosh today. If you guys are not following her, you can follow her on social media. It's Tosh Pasqua. So which is arroba, very important to know this, Tosh Pasqua, at Tosh Pasqua. And if you follow her, you'll learn from her translations on the show. You'll learn from her videos as well. So she is just a wealth of knowledge and information in English. Wealth es una abundancia. Wealthy is rico, right? So a wealth of es una abundancia de. We're playing with words. That's what we come to do every day, to play in general. Okay, but I'm gonna switch it up over here a little bit. And I'll tell you why. Just because that's my style. Now, her translation, the one that Tosh is giving us, says, ¿De quién es ese despertador? Okay, I'm changing it. ¿De quién es ese pijama? I'm changing it, that's all. Okay, we're changing despertador por pijama. So, esto es el posesivo, el whose, right? ¿De quién es ese pijama? That is your translation. We'll see if you guys are able to figure it out. Also, a quick reminder, you got a new upcoming episode of FYI where you're going to hear from some of your fellow classmates. Let's hear the intro.
Perhaps it's one of the most popular pastimes on the planet. Pedaling provides people with personal freedom and even empowers us. Whether you're a recreational rider, a serious racer, or just trying to stay in shape, cycling is simply a spectacular sport. Get pumped up as we get a grasp on bikes on this week's episode of FYI. Welcome to For Your Info, English. You got it.
All right, folks. So make sure you're following, aside from all the amazing Vaughn shows, make sure you're following my weekly self-produced podcast, which is called FYI, For Your English. And by the way, thank you. We are on the cusp es en la frontera. We are on the cusp of reaching 500,000 downloads. And my daughter and I have prepared a little, just a little message, but I can't release the message until we hit 500,000 downloads. So stay tuned. We've got some milestones as well. Oh, and how can I forget? Feria del Libro Madrid. Mark your calendars, May 26th, el 26 de mayo, to June 11th, join Vaughn at Feria del Libro Madrid at the Retiro Park. It's gonna be fun. Anybody who's anybody is gonna be there. So you better be there. Más os vale. I want to see each and every one of you at the book fair. Make arrangements, get to Madrid. You won't regret it. May 26th to June 11th. Feria del Libro Madrid. Also, mark your calendars again. April 12th, which is right around the corner. You've got a trivia night. It's Vaughn Radio Trivia Night, hosted by Juan Solo, great friend of mine. And that's at Calle Amaniel 23. It's at 8:30 p.m., but anybody who knows or who's been in the past, you know it's good to get there around 8 because having a strategic team is really important. All right, well, let's see who's in our virtual chat room. Yeah, all right. We got Born to Iron Man in the house. Una forma muy nativa de decir presente. He's in the house, and he says, "Morning, friends. Are all of you fine and dandy? Oh, yeah, daddy-o." It's muy de los años 20. I love it. It's classic. Fine and dandy. I like it. Great. It's a collocation. Great to see you. Born to Iron Man. Welcome. Vero, there she is. She says, "Good morning, beautiful people. Let's have a terrific day along with our magnificent host, Mr. Double A. Shall we? Yeah. All right, Vero, I'm glad you're on board with us." There's David. David says, "Good morning," and David is ready to rock. There's Kubla. He says, "Good morning, rapturous gang. What's up, Kubla?" Laura. Laura says, "Good morning. Amazing show with no namers. Let's get down to business." You know what, Laura? I love when you do that. What Laura does is she shows me, it's excellent. Laura shows me that she gets it and that she's following me on social media and not only gets it, but then she's using it. So, you know what, folks? First, and secondly, let's get down to business. Me demuestras que me, you know, that you're getting the content and that you're really getting it. So, vamos, manos a la obra. Let's get down to business. It's an Eminem song. It's also a song by DJ Tiesto. Let's get down to business. Give me one more chance, and then. All right, let's see. Who else? We've got Vero. Vero says, "No excuses is Fitz's show, not Tasha's." Well, I'm aware of that. I guess I slipped over there. Remember, this hard drive is just full. Está lleno. El disco duro está petado, as you say. But thanks, yeah. So let's clear it up. Fitz's program is called No Excuses. Tosh Pasqua's program is called Back to Basics. And I have no excuses. I know it, but I guess I slipped. All right, let's see. Laura says, "Whose pajamas are those?" Now, does that sound right to you guys? Whose pajamas are those? Sounds perfect. Oh, yeah. Excellent. Laura, whose pajamas are those? You know, you can also say PJs. Me encanta. PJs. Yeah. Ahora, a lo que iba. This is why I changed it. Because in Spanish, you say el pijama. En inglés, como hemos visto, Laura, you nailed it. Es plural siempre. Right? Like you say deberes. We never say homeworks. We say homework. I have a lot of homework, aunque sean 20 cosas. Si quieres que sea contable, assignments. Pero es más fácil decir, I have a lot of homework tonight. Right? So these countable, uncountable ones, and it's not always the same. In Spanish, again, you use it in a singular, right? You say la noticia. We say the news, con una S. There are certain things where we're on the same page, but not exactly, and it causes some confusion along the way. So whose pajamas, whose PJs are those? We also got Kubla. Nice job, Kubla. Awesome. Vero. Hang on. Whose pajamas is that? Always plural, right? So whose pajamas are those? We'd have to make it plural. Nice job. Born to Iron Man. You got it. There's Monse. Lovely Monse. What's up, Monse? Good morning. All right. Kubla says, "We are right if we say that Tosh is..." Te falta. I love it. I'm going to give you a totally native. Pero te falta el the. So we are right if we say that Tosh is the cat's pajamas. Esto significa la bomba. Los pijamas el pijama del gato. ¿Ves? Yo lo digo en plural en español. El error funciona en ambos. You know, it goes both ways. So yeah, she's the cat's pajamas. Los británicos son, I don't know, they have a weird sense of humor. You know what they say? Las pelotas del perro. What? Yeah, the dog's bullocks. Te lo juro. You can't make this shit up. Esta expresión es, no te puedes inventar esto, right? There's Dad. What's up, Dad? Bringing the magic, as always, our philosopher and friend, Don Diego Alonso. And he says, good morning, Alberto, family and friends. Greetings from Greenwood Lake, New York. What's up, Dad? Born to Iron Man says, kudos, Alberto. By the way, this week's FYI is totally my cup of coffee. The expression is my cup of tea, pero me gusta. I don't know if you did it on purpose, but it's funny. Well, let's right off the bat. Born to Iron Man. He gave me so many amazing ideas that I couldn't use them all. So thank you. I should say I mentioned it in the episodes that my research assistant is Born to Iron Man. So thank you again for all your help. As with all the episodes of Show with No Name, of FYI, they're all made with TLC, tender loving care. Ese toque de cariño. I think the one that makes the difference, don't you? Let's see. Nihad, there he is. Speaking of people and things that make a difference. Nihad says, good morning, beautiful people. Let's get down to business. I see a lot of you follow me on social media. Hey, if you're not following me, you should. And follow Tosh, as I said before. Fitz doesn't really post too much. Kyle Miller does. Dave Boys, right? I mean, we all have social media. Just some of us are more active. But either way, you can catch all of our shows on the Vaughn Radio app. All right, let's see. Who else is on board? There she is. I was starting to get nervous there. I said I was going through Chris withdrawal. You know what this is? Chris withdrawal. Pues si alguien deja una droga or something y no lo tiene como tiene el mono de Chris. Chris says, morning, Alberto and mates. You bet, Iron Man. You are our super athlete. Oh, yeah. Not just in the physical sense, but he's also a super athlete here in the English sense. As you guys know, he's usually in the top 3 in most of the sections we do here on the show, right? So let's review this who's un poco, okay? You know why? Because it can be very confusing. I've heard even my highest level students make mistakes with who's. Parents. A great way, well, parents, even if you're not parents, a good way to practice it is when you're folding the laundry. Okay, tienes la ropa. You got a load. You call it una colada. We call it a load. Okay. And you're folding clothes. You got to put them away. Mira, ya tenemos un phrasal verb. You got to take them out of the dryer or the washing machine. You got to hang them up. So ya tenemos como 5 phrasal verbs hablando de la ropa, right? But then remember, if something belongs to you, if it belongs to your wife, that's a game now. So we started real simple. It started when she was a little baby. I would say, Laura, these are mine. These are not yours. These are mine. And I'd say, this shirt, this is yours. This is your shirt. It's yours. So at first, obviously, for 2 years, a year and a half, she started speaking pretty early. She just listened. She just was like, okay, está diciendo who's, no sé qué, no sé, no sabe cómo se escribe, nunca lo ha visto escrito, evidentemente, pero te lo recuerdo, it's very important. She just knows I hold something up and I'm like, is this yours? Is it mine? Is it mommy's? Whose is it? Are they mine? Are they yours? So putting it in the plural and also in the past, all the, putting it all through the ringer, as I say, no todos los diferentes cosas. And at first it was all affirmative, right? Afirmar. It was all, these are mine, yeah. But now that she answers, which is great, now I play with her to make sure she's paying attention. So I'm like, oh, and I say it very naturally, very convinced. I'm like, okay, these are my panties. She looks at me like, Papi, Those are not your panties, bragas. By the way, miramos prendas si queréis. Papi, those are not your panties. Okay? You don't wear panties. So she even, ahora añade, you know, she even tries to rationalize it now. Or I'll say, I'm like, this is my shirt, and it's got a princess and a rainbow on it, and a unicorn. She's like, papi, it's not your shirt, it's my shirt. So ahí ya me ha dado el no es, sí lo es, pero hemos empezado solo con sí lo es. Y hemos añadido el no lo es. And all I kept thinking was, wait a second, that's the Vaughn method. That's what we do in the Vaughn method. You know, you hear a structure, your teacher will use it or introduce it. I mean, this is a typical kind of class. Okay, we're looking at right now, we're looking at the structure whose. You guys gave us a couple examples. We're going to take a look at some more examples. We're going to make sure you get the structure. Okay, that when you hear it, you're like, that's right, that's wrong. That's something my wife has, which I think is amazing, by the way. You know that you've been listening to English and you've been exposing yourself to English a lot when you know if something is right or wrong. But, second nature, like you don't have to think about it. So a lot of times when I do these quizzes on every day, remember on social media, guys, you've got quizzes, you've got videos. I mean, I'm being honest with you. I spend plenty of time. My life is creating content. I love that you guys love it. And by the way, if you'd like to leave us a comment, if you haven't done that yet, go to, I know you can't do it. I think on iVox, you can only comment on each episode. But on Apple Podcasts, you can rate the podcast, give it 5 stars, please. Show with No Name, FYI, or any of your favorite programs. That takes 1 second. Literalmente dice, rate the show. Y hay gente que me ha dicho, no sé hacerlo. Just go to YouTube and put how to rate a podcast, or Google how to rate a podcast on Spotify, whichever one you use. I know iVox is extremely popular, but I want to thank you guys because I asked you a couple weeks ago, I asked you guys, I remember asking you guys about this. I said, hey, if you haven't done it yet, could you rate my podcast? Could you rate the show with no name? Could you leave a comment? Mostly because I read the comments. I love the comments. And I noticed there's a flood of comments in the last 2 weeks. A flood of comments, reviews. A review is donde pones tu opinión, right? And 5 stars. So thank you again. Because the show with no name and FYI, okay, I know because I look at the stats. The show with no name and FYI are constantly in the top lists for language learning, at least in Spain. There are times that we've been in like the top 50, que es mucho, Estar en el top 50 no es fácil. And that's important because if you're in the top 50, then you get shown on the page. But you only get in the top 50 if you get a lot of downloads, right? If you're a popular podcast. So you guys say, pez que se muerde la cola, I believe. We say, it's a catch-22. Un pilla, a catch-22. You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't. Maldecido, maldicho. I don't know. Jodido, vamos a ponerlo. Let's put it in the vernacular. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Estás jodido, cojas como lo cojas. Hagas lo que hagas. Whatever you do, you are screwed. All right, well, folks, I can't believe it. We do have to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be taking a look at our Say What soundbite. I think it's going to be really easy today. So I'm going to urge all of you to participate. After the Say What soundbite, we've got our spelling bee, we've got homophones, and so much more. So, you know what? Let's take just a minute or two, and we'll be right back with the second part of today's Show with No Name. If I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hello, amigos. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name. Show with no name. With no. Come on in, English lovers from around the world. Man. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's my dad. There's mi cuñado, my brother-in-law. This is a family affair. It's magical. It's the show with no name. It's interactive. It's exciting. And it's all in English. Yeah. All right, amigos. All right. Just a quick reminder. You've got amazing programs all afternoon. Right after this show, you've got Ximena Holiday and Test Your English. Then Rob and Andy on the lunchtime show. After that, Tosh Pasqua and Back to Basics. Then you've got Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. Followed by Western Civilization with Guy Williams. And don't forget about Dave Boyce and The Salad, and Kyle Miller and Drive Time. It's all available on the Vaughn Radio app, and you can learn English all day long. And as Richard Vaughn said when he was on my podcast, speaking is important. Of course it is. But absorbing is so important because that's going to help you when you speak. So don't underestimate leaving Vaughn Radio on in the back, even if, most of you are actively participating, which I think is just fantastic. But just having it in the background is going to improve your comprehension. And also, in the end, you might end up saying the structures you hear. It happens to me with Spanish. Sometimes I'll just say something like, ¿De dónde he sacado eso? Where did I get that from? And I picked it up somewhere. I soaked it in like a sponge. And folks, it's time for our next section. It's Say What? Say what? What? It's the Say What soundbite. On the show with no name. On the show with no name. And it'll never be the same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Huh? What is this guy saying? What are you on about? ¿De qué vas, Peter Cas? What are you talking? What are you on about? What? I'm sorry, I didn't catch a word. Man, that went over my head. No lo capté. You want more ways to say ni papa? Oh, man, my favorite one. That's right, cero patatero. There we go. The good thing is you'll never have to say cero patatero again when people ask you if you speak English. You want to say, oh, yo cero patatero. You can say a mil o a tope con la cope, whatever. But not you. You're not one of those people who fear English or communicating. And why? Because you've been exposing yourself, right? You've been exposing yourselves, I should say, in plural, every day. And again, don't underestimate the power of that. I mean, why do you think my Spanish has gotten a lot better? I live in Spain. I am surrounded by you people. See? Everything I hear, everything, it's all you guys. So I'm a direct result of that. We always talk about the debate in psychology and sociology of nature versus nurture. Nature, Eres como eres porque naciste así. It's your nature, second nature, right? Innato, I think you say, right? Nature that made you that way. And nurture means you were brought up that way. And again, it's like everything in life. It's a mix of the two. You are the way you are because of your environment, partly, and other of it because you're wired like that. Estás programado así. So interesting. I always find that stuff fascinating. All right, well, let's listen to today's Say What soundbite. This is the first listen. I think it's going to be pretty easy. We'll see what you guys think. Is everybody ready? Write this down.
That's rather up to Stephen, don't you think? Completely. Listen, I'm taking my marching orders from Stephen. He seems to be satisfied with this arrangement. So don't force any issues unless you want to cause plenty of trouble.
All right, there you go. Sounds like a threat, but a sexy one. You know, it sounds like, ooh, you better watch out, mister. Okay. Well, all right. I guess I'm gonna see what happens here. All right. So I see everybody's meeting my brother-in-law, the barbecue master, Marcos. Y ya que estás, cuñado, toma, vamos a abrirte una cervecita. Oh, yeah, pour yourself a beer. All right. It's not Friday, but we're close enough. Oh, that tastes delicious. Can you almost taste it? All right, let's listen to the Say What soundbite again now for a second time, and we'll see what you guys heard. Again, I think this, compared to some of the ones we've had recently, I think this one's definitely doable. Asequible.
That's rather up to Stephen, don't you think? Completely. Listen, I'm taking my marching orders from Stephen. He seems to be satisfied with this arrangement. So don't force any issues unless you want to cause plenty of trouble.
Okay, there you go, folks. That was the second listen. All right, let's see some comments over here. Chris says, hey, your brother-in-law who has the upper hand. Hi, Marcos. Oh, yeah, definitely. Great expression there, Chris. To have the upper hand. Tener el control en una situación. I don't know the exact translation in Spanish. Yes, Monse says, nice detective skills, Vero. Yeah, well, Vero is a bit of a detective. She knows how to snoop. What? Snoop. Have you heard that word before? Yes, of course you have. Snoopy? Hello? That famous dog, Snoopy, and his bird friend, Woodstock. Well, to snoop is to be curious, to look for stuff. Fisgonear, I think, let's look it up. Snoop. Okay, stop snooping around. That's my stuff. Husmear. Fisgar. Okay, fisgona. So it can be a noun. It can be a verb as well. And then the verb, you can also add around. Are you snooping? Are you snooping around? Que tiene sentido. Mirando por ahí, por diferentes partes. But an easy one, because who doesn't know Snoopy? Seriously. Snoopy, the one, the only. You may like him, you may not like him, but we all know who he is. And his name can tell us a lot. Just like Bugs Bunny. Es un poco pesado, ¿no? Molesta a la gente. Yeah, pero lo dice su nombre. Stop bugging me. Deja de molestarme, de chinchar. Bugs Bunny. Yeah, I know it's bichos, pero en este caso no tiene que ver con bichos. Ajá. I'm sure a lot of you know that as well. I think we exposed that in the first book, the first milk book, I think, or it could be in the second one. Either way, if you don't have those books, you can pick them up at the Von Tienda. Remember, we have two websites. We have grupovon.com, where you can find out about all our courses. And then you can also go over to vontienda.com if what you're looking for is self-study and materials. And again, I can't recommend it enough. You should definitely follow us on social media because, well, look, Laura, who was it? A few other people have used expressions that I taught yesterday or this morning on social media. So, all right, let's see what we've got over here. The first person to participate You know what? Let's get a little music going. Yeah, I like a little vibe in there. Kubla says, it sounded like two American females talking about a Stephen. Good. The former said that he should be wary and take it easy with her. Excellent job, Kubla. Spot on. Let's see. Laura says, nice meeting you, Marcos. Ahora, esto es mi pregunta. Nice meeting you o nice to meet you? ¿Cuál es? ¿Qué si te digo ambas? There you go. I love it when it's like that. ¿Cuál quieres? Which do you prefer? They're both correct. Nice meeting you. Nice to meet you. Meet ya. Y si le saludas a Marcos, ese meet es M-E-A-T. Okay, not very funny. All right, Chris Valrol says, I heard a woman who's giving a piece of advice to someone else. Maybe about an arrangement thing. Good ear. She talks about not forcing issues, no forzar temas. Excellent job. Wonderful job. Let's see. Vero says, I'm not snooping around. I am just a curious woman. Well, curiosity killed the cat, but you're not a cat. You're good. Let's see. Monse says, I'll say that's a clip from an old movie where two housewives are talking. Monse, your ear is fine-tuned. Monse, our series queen. Well, Chris is our movie queen. Speaking of Chris, she says, I meant Marcos has la paella por el mango. Wink, wink. Oh, you're mixing up my cuñados, my brother-in-laws. Marcos is the barbecue master, and Christian is the paellero. See, I'm lucky. And last weekend, we had them both going. Fideuá, that's Christian. In fact, I have a name for him. I have dubbed him, le llamo, John Manuel Socarrat. Oh, man, that's funny. Yeah, he's the paella king. He's like, ¿qué hacemos? Arroz, fideuá. Since my daughter and I love fideuá, I always get my daughter on board. I'm like, tell him you want fideuá. And she's like, Tío, quiero fideuá. I'm like, yes. I like paella, but I prefer fideuá. I think I've been eating paella for so many years that to me, when I discovered fideuá, it was like a novelty. Era novedad. I'm like, what is this with pasta? Wow, this is pretty good. So yes, to make it clear here, if you want to talk barbecue, that is Marcos. If you want to talk paellas, that is, and seafood, also very good. The good thing is everybody in my family, almost everybody, likes to cook. So you know what that means. Have you seen my belly? Have you seen my gut? ¿Me habéis visto la tripa? There's Leo, our awesome Leo. What's up, buddy? He says, it looks like a classic, or mejor it sounds like, right? Porque lo estás escuchando. It sounds like a classic American movie in which a female character warns the other not to cause any issues with Steve when she mingles with him, since he is a good match. And great word there, to mingle, socializar, mezclarse, and a good match, un buen emparejamiento, I think you say. All right, great. Chris says, oh, you're really fortunate. Oh, and really overweight too. All right, Nihad. Nihad says, two American women are talking about Stephen, who is satisfied with his arrangement. So one of those women notify the other to not force issues unless she wants to cause trouble. Guys, excellent job. Excellent job. It's time to move on, though. It's time for our Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right, folks. That's right. It's our Spelling Bee only on the show with no name. And this is probably one of the toughest sections we'll deal with on every show. But before we start our Spelling Bee, we have a few more people participating in the Say What soundbite, which is awesome. Again, guys, thank you for your participation. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Let's see. Laura says, I heard two American women talking about a man called Steven in a clip from an old movie. One of them is telling the other not to force any issues unless she wants to cause, no puedo hablar. Let me go back. Unless she wants to cause plenty of trouble. Ahora sí. No ha sido tú, Laura. That's my problem. I can't read. I'm not illiterate, but I can't read. O sea, no soy analfabeto, but I can't read. You catch my drift? All right, there's Lupe. Lupe says, I heard two American women talking about how it would be if one of them were okay with Steven's arrangement. It could there be, no, entonces la estructura que buscas, Lupe, es there could be, puede haber. Difícil, pero bien, así hay que hacerlo. So there could be a lot of trouble ahead. Wonderful job. As I said, you guys are superstars. Let's see how you do in today's Spelling Bee. This is round one. These will all be capitalized, by the way, con mayúscula. Is everybody ready? Okay, I'm going to fly through it. This is for my super show with no namers. And good luck. The second time, well, I'll go at a normal speed. But the first time, I'm going to be that guy when you hang up at customer service. You're like, ¿Qué cabrón? That guy. Okay? Everybody ready? The first one is BEIJING-HANGZHOU. The second one is SUEZ space CANAL. The third one is WHITE space SEA dash BALTIC space SEA. The fourth one is PANAMA space CANAL. Excuse me. The fifth one is RHINE dash MAIN dash DANUBE. And the last one is VOLGA dash DON space CANAL. Oh my God. Insane. Sorry, I just lowered the microphone for a second. Excuse me. I just lowered the microphone for a second because I sneezed. So I didn't want to sneeze right in your ears, folks. Sorry. I woke up this morning a little bit congested. I feel fine. I'm just a little bit congested. I'm convinced. I mean, I love Madrid. Don't get me wrong. But I'm convinced, like, I do better in a more humid climate, right? Where there's moisture, humedad, where there's moisture in the air, you know? I love it here. Don't get me wrong. I've been living here for how many years now? I obviously love it here. But sometimes I feel like things get caught up in there and I'm like, come on. And I won't go into any more detail. But when I go down to Almeria, let's put it this way. For some reason, I can hear better. I can smell better. Also, remember, what do you buy when your nose is clogged up? You get that saline salt. Well, when you're staring at the sea, that saline salt is hitting you in the face. I mean, that's better than anything you can buy over at a pharmacy, right? The sea, that air with the sea salt and the mist. Oh man, I can smell it right now. There's my buddy Omar. What's up, Omar? He says, bless you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah. As they say in Spanish, son cosas del directo. So if you have to sneeze, I can't stop the show. We're live here, baby. So I got to do what I can to get by. Salir del paso, apañarme. All right, now let's get down to business here. Has anybody figured out our spelling bee here? This is a really tough one. I went really fast, but hopefully somebody was able to figure it out. Oh, hey, maybe there's a little clue there. All right, I'm going to give you another 10, 20 seconds or so, 10 to 20 seconds, and then we're going to go with round 2. But interesting. Usually we have at least 1, maybe 2, sometimes 3 people who can get it on the first go. But right now, going once, going twice. It's time for round 2. Now I'm going to be nice. The first word is BEIJING dash HANGZHOU. The second one is SUEZ space CANAL. The third one is WHITE space SEA dash BALTIC space SEA. The fourth one is the PANAMA space CANAL. If you're noticing, that word comes up 3 times. So maybe that's what they have in common. The fifth one, RHINE dash MAIN dash DANUBE. And the last one is VOLGA dash DON space. Here's that word again. CANAL. All right. Now that's a tough one, right? Omar, have a wonderful day, buddy. You too. My buddy Omar checking in from New York before he has to go to work. That's cool. We got my dad, my friend Omar on board. USA in the house. I love it. Have a great day, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. Gracias por hacernos una visita. All right, anybody? Going once? Going twice? No? Oh, wait, hang on. All right, hang on, folks. It looks like we might have a winner over here. Let's take a look. The first person to take a stab at today's spelling bee is our friend Born to Iron Man. Let's see. Born to Iron Man. The first one is correct. The second one is correct. The third one is also correct. The fourth one is perfect. The fifth one is perfect. And the sixth one is perfect. Excellent job. Also, Kubla as well. Kubla, as I take a glance, una ojeada, it looks right too. And Lupe as wow, guys, excellent job. That wasn't easy because there, some of the words are in Chinese, some of them are in German. So, they're not, it's not like when you say a word that you recognize or you spell a word that you recognize. So that was wonderful, guys. Excellent job. These are all famous canals. Okay. Canals. Now, the reason I chose canals was because today, I'm sure all of you remember this because it's recent history, really. Today in 2021, a container ship, and a container ship is estos que llevan transportar cosas, ¿no? Que llevan contenedores on top, pero no de basura. They're containers, we call them. Vasijas. I don't know the word you would use there. Well, I'm sure you remember it. It was the one that blocked the Suez Canal for 6 days. Yeah, I think everybody remembers that moment in history. It was not good, but there was a little comical side to it as well. Well, folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. The good news, we'll be right back with tons more Show with No Name. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the Show with No Name on the one and only Vaughn Radio. That's right, folks. Vaughn Radio, the place where you can learn English every day for free with your friends. That's awesome. I mean, this didn't exist 15 years ago. It was unheard of, insolito. And as you know, Vaughn Radio has been adapting to different technologies. You know, we used to have people call into the show on the phone, on a landline, un fijo. Yeah. And people used to write in emails. That's a good thing. People still write in correspondence. In fact, I got a comment the other day. Maybe I can share it with you. Let me see if I can find it. But thank you guys. I know personally I get so many amazing comments from you guys, from our listeners. And it's beautiful, really. For me, it's my motivation, it's my fuel as well to keep going on and on. So the same way you guys say, Alberto, thanks for motivating me. Well, right back at you. Thanks for motivating me. I really appreciate it. As you know, it's not always easy to stay motivated, you know? All right. I can't find that. I'm looking for that email here and I can't find it. So, oh man. All right. Well, no worries. I'll find it at another moment. But also remember, guys, if you would like to participate on the show, you can write to me. You can write to my work email address. It's aalonso@grupovon.com. And again, it's my work email address, aalonso@grupovon.com. Or you can send me a 1-minute voice message sharing something. Always remember, no matter how many times you've participated, introduce yourself so we know who we're listening to from the get-go. Desde el primer momento. All right, let's listen to our Say What soundbite for the third time. Everybody pay close attention.
That's rather up to Stephen, don't you think? Completely. Listen, I'm taking my marching orders from Stephen. He seems to be satisfied with this arrangement. So don't force any issues unless you want to cause plenty of trouble.
All right, guys, you'll hear that one more time. And guess what? I found it. I found this email over here. Now, it's in Spanish, but again, listen, everybody's at a different level. You're not ready to write to me or leave me a message in English. That's okay. I don't want you to not participate. Sooner or later, you'll be able to write to me in English. Sooner or later, you'll be able to send me a voice message. You'll gain that confidence, but it takes time. So let's see. We're going to hear from, I'm going to call this person Paco. Why not? Oh, I like the name Paco. Que me gusta el nombre. Claro que sí. It's my uncle's name, my godfather. All right. Paco says, Alberto Alonso, te quiero mucho, Albertito. Sos único, loco. I think you know where the person's from now. Sos. Sos único, loco. Debe ser genial tener un profesor como vos. De hecho, si yo viviera en Madrid o vos en Buenos Aires y nos conociésemos, seríamos indefectiblemente amigos. Estoy aprendiendo yo. Me encantan las respuestas locas que das. Pícaro, como un argentino. En serio, te quiero. Encima, fanático del rock, como yo. El único defecto sos del Madrid y yo del Liverpool. Si no me cargues. Soy el muchacho ciego que te escribió hace un año atrás. Sigo mejorando un montón. Ahora lo hablo fluido al inglés, pero meto la pata con la gramática a veces. No te preocupes, tío. Pero exponiéndome al idioma y cantando horriblemente, estoy mejorando un montonazo. Y hasta hablo solo como un loco. Bueno, everybody I know who's smart habla solo. It's like, you know that thing. The people thought they were crazy because they couldn't hear the music. Estaban bailando. Esto que hacen estos locos. No oyeron la música. Who's missing out there, right? So he says, mi vecina debe pensar, qué trasca ciego. Debo estar quedando muy boludo. Hasta creo sentir su mirada de conmiseración cuando nos saludamos. Debería escribirte en inglés, pero no sé. Cuando digo cosas sentimentales, no puedo usar mi segundo idioma. Te mando un enorme abrazo desde Argentina. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's great to know that our community is huge. We've got people everywhere, all over this planet. And remember, you guys can join our community live. We're live. Most of the shows stream. To stream is estar en internet, right? They stream live. All right, before we check out our spelling bee here, hang on, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've got a winner in today's Say What soundbite. Wait, I think we've got two. We've got Kubla and Laura. Excellent job to everybody who's participating. Awesome sauce, como decimos en mi país. Salsa, awesome. All right, so great job on the Say What soundbite, and a great job on our spelling bee. Let's check these different canals that we're going to take a look at. The first one is the Beijing Hangzhou. Now, you'll have to excuse my pronunciation. The Beijing Hangzhou, but it's more popularly, no es fácil esa, popularly known as the Grand Canal. The Beijing Hangzhou Grand Canal. It is the longest and the oldest canal in the world, and it connects China's Yellow River with the Yangtze River, and it goes through many provinces, and it connects with many other rivers as well. Its length is 1,776 kilometers, 1,776 kilómetros. At its greatest height, it's 42 meters in the mountains of Shandong. And it was originally built. Are you ready for this? This is incredible. In 468 BC, before Christ. The second one is the Suez Canal, and we know this one. It's located in Egypt. It opened in November 1869, and it is 193 kilometers long. Now, wait, it doesn't make it less important. But the first one I just said, the Beijing-Hangzhou Grand Canal, 1,776 kilometers. And the Suez, which is world famous, is 193 kilometers. So it dwarfs it. Lo hace parecer mucho más pequeño. But we all are familiar with the Suez Canal. I remember there were problems when I was a kid in the Suez. There were some territorial, there was some, it wasn't a good time to be there. The next one we've got the White Sea, Baltic Sea. And I think this one is pretty self-explanatory. They also call it the White Sea Canal. And this basically, it regularizes, okay, es que no se usa mucho. It regularizes traffic between Russian waterways. So this one, I wasn't familiar with it, but when you hear the word Baltic, it kind of makes sense. The next one we've got is the Panama Canal, which I think is another one too. At least in the United States, this is one we study a lot about. The famous Panama Canal, located in Venezuela. No, I'm joking. Obviously, it's in Panama, right? So now let's see. This one is 82 kilometers long. The Panama Canal is 82 kilometers long. Then we've got the Rhine, Main, Danube, okay, which is, I'm sure you guys know, the Danube River. And this links three important rivers in the heart of Western Europe: the Rhine, the Main, Frankfurt on Main, right? And the Danube. So that's pretty cool. And they also call it the Europa Canal, the Europa Canal. And it was originally built, now a lot of these obviously need maintenance and there's always upkeep, but it was originally built in the 1930s, the late 1930s, around 1938. And the last one is the Volga-Don Canal. And this links the Russian rivers of Volga and Don. I always think that these are amazing engineering feats, hazañas, that we can just, take a ship and just go right through a country, because we all know the other option. Well, let's check it out. Let's check this out. How many kilometers? Let's do it like this. Kilometers does the Panama Canal, for example, save? All right. Savings of up to 6,500 kilometers are made. Okay, or 3,500 nautical miles. But I think in kilometers is easier for you guys. 6,500 kilometers is what you save when you go between one coast of North America and the ports on the other side of South America. So that's pretty crazy. And then, of course, if you're coming between Europe and East Asia or Australia, well, then you're saving around 3,700 kilometers by being able to cut through the middle, right? So Kubla, with a little historic fact, he says, the Panama Canal claimed the lives of thousands of workers, especially to endemic infectious diseases. Yeah, I remember studying that in history as well. A lot of lives were lost, like with many construction projects, especially back in the day. Now, at least in many places in the Western world, I mean, you need a harness. You can't just, okay, I know these problems still exist. There was a lot of controversy around the World Cup, slave labor, unsafe working conditions. So this is unfortunately something that's still happening. But yeah, a lot of blood was lost to make that. So, all right, what else? Volga. Oh, that's it, guys. That's our spelling bee. So let's move on to another section, a section I love. Grab your popcorn, because we're going to the movies. Name that movie. That's right. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie only on the show with no name. I'm going to take a look at a movie, and maybe you've seen the movie. Maybe you haven't seen the movie. We'll find out in just a moment. But here we go. I'll give you the trailer. We'll take a look at some behind-the-scenes stuff, and then we'll take a look at some dialogue as well. Some of the lines, frases, from the movie. Here we go. A former radio DJ, suicidally despondent because of a terrible mistake he made, finds redemption in helping a deranged homeless man who was an unwitting victim of that mistake. All right? So, a former radio DJ. Former, ya no lo es. Okay, era. Former president. Anterior, antes era. So a former radio DJ, suicidally despondent. No te tengo que explicar suicidally, ¿no? Que es, no está en un buen lugar. Despondent, desalentado, abatido, it says here. Because of a terrible mistake. Terrible, terrible. We don't pronounce it terrible. Terrible, terra. Como te acuerdas esto, cuando yo llegué a España había Terra, era un internet. Terra, terabytes, terrible, right? So, and don't mix it up with terrific, because terrific is excellent. O sea, terrible is terrible. Terrific is excelente. That's interesting. So because of a terrible mistake he made, and he finds redemption. And redemption is la redención. You say that? No, tengo que buscarlo. Porque si no me lo voy a inventar. Redención, rendator, redemption, redención. ¡Ey! Ojo, me ha salido. Redemption, like Bob Marley's song. Redemption songs is all I ever had. Redemption songs. So he finds redemption in helping a deranged, if you're deranged, you're crazy, a deranged homeless man who was an unwitting victim of that mistake. So it's like a karma kind of thing. And the word unwitting, vamos a ponerlo porque no lo sé decir en español, unwitting, inconsciente, no sabía que iba a pasar, right? Unwitting. Okay, so great stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. It's Chris Van Roll, followed by Kubla. Nice job, folks. The movie is called The Fisher King, at least in English. I don't want to know what you call it in Spanish. Do you call it El DJ Suicida? I don't know. Now, this was the first film directed by Terry Gilliam. You know him? From Monty Python. And this was the first film that he directed not to feature any other members of Monty Python. And he generally had 3 rules as a filmmaker. Rule number 1, I will never do anyone's script but my own. Paso de hacer el guión de otro, solo uno que yo hago. Okay. Rule number 2, I will never work for a major studio. So Warner Brothers, Sony, these guys, Sony Pictures, right? Disney. And number 3, I will never work in America. And the funny thing is, he broke all 3 of those rules to make this movie. So there wasn't too much conviction behind that. So very interesting. Also, at first, they were considering James Cameron as the director. You know, James Cameron, Titanic, Terminator. But he was already immersed in a project called Terminator 2, which is where we got those classic lines, hasta la vista, baby. No, yo sé que en español es sayonara, pues no. En inglés es hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back, right? And, and Jeff Bridges, who is in this movie as well, Jeff Puentes, he wears the same, if you love this kind of stuff, I love these kind of winks and nods, he wears the same baseball t-shirt that he wears in The Big Lebowski. So there's a little wink. There are many of them in this movie. All right, let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen for you. Excuse me. As I said, I'm a little bit congested today, so thanks. Bear with me a little bit. All right, the movie is called, as we said, The Fisher King. It came out in the year 1991. I remember this movie was all the rage. Era tan, like everybody was talking about it. It was the talk of the town. It was all the rage, right? And it stars Jeff Bridges, Robin Williams, and Adam Bryant. If you haven't seen it, it truly is a great movie. Chris says, great movie indeed. I love Robin Williams. In Spanish, El Rey Pescador. Oh, same. Oh, míralo. See, sometimes you just translate it literally. So Parry says, it begins with the king as a boy, having to spend the night alone in the forest to prove his courage. Demostrar, to prove his courage. And courage is valentía. No courage, sino courage. El ij rima con bridge, el AGS. Like Jeff Bridge, es Bridges, pero para Jeff Bridge has courage. Riman. So he can become king. Now, while he's spending the night alone, he's visited by a sacred vision. Tiene una visión, like an epiphany kind of thing. Sacred, sagrado. A sacred vision. Out of the fire appears the Holy Grail, el Santo Grail, the Holy Grail, symbol of God's divine grace. And a voice said to the boy, you shall be keeper of the Grail, so that it may heal the hearts of men, para que cure los corazones de los hombres. The keeper, el guardador. But the boy was blinded by greater visions of a life filled with power and glory and beauty. And in this state of radical amazement, when you're amazed, you're like, wow, en asombro, he felt for a brief moment not like a boy, but invincible, invincible, like God. So he reached into the fire to take the Grail, and the Grail vanished, leaving him with his hand in the fire to be terribly wounded. A wound es una lesión, right? A wound, an injury. And to get wounded es lesionarse. So he was terribly wounded. Now, as the boy grew older, his wound grew deeper. Su herida se hizo más profundo. Until one day, life for him lost its reason. La vida para él perdió toda su razón. No había razón ya. He had no faith in any man, not even himself, ni siquiera él mismo. He couldn't love or feel loved. No supo amar ni sentir amor. He was sick with experience. Ya estaba harto de experiencia. Tenía demasiada. He began to die. Empezó a morir. One day, a fool wandered into the castle and found the king alone. And being a fool, he was simple-minded. Simple-minded, simplón. He didn't see a king. He only saw a man alone and in pain. So you can say, in pain is dolorido, right? In pain. And he asked the king, what ails you, friend? Right? What ails you, friend? ¿Qué es lo que cuál es tu enfermedad, tu aflicción? What ails you? A-I-L, con ese. What ails you, friend? Muchas veces lo dicen como con una cerveza. Oh, man, beer. For what ails you? Para todos tus males, puede ser. So he goes, what ails you, friend? ¿Qué es tu enfermedad, tu aflicción? And the king replied, I'm thirsty. I need some water to cool my throat, mi garganta. So the fool took a cup from beside his bed, al lado de la cama, filled it with water. Remember, to fill es llenar, full es lleno, adjetivo. So verbo, adjetivo.
And he filled it with water and handed it to the king. And as the king began to drink, he realized his wound was healed. Estaba curado. He looked in his hands, and there was the Holy Grail, that which he sought his whole life. And sought viene del verbo seek. Es el verbo más irregular quizá del mundo. Seek, sought. Y de hecho, usamos sought en un adjetivo. Oh man, that cup, esa taza, it's very sought after, codiciado, buscado, right? So it's good to know that one. And he turned to the fool, y se giró, se dirigió al tonto, and said with amazement, con asombro, how can you find that which my brightest and bravest could not? Mis más listos, mis más brillantes, mis más valientes, no podían encontrarlo. And the fool replied, I don't know. I only know that you were thirsty. And remember, we don't say, I have thirsty, sino, I am thirsty. Y no solo lo usamos para sed de dame agua, but also we use it as to be thirsty for knowledge. Tener sed para aprender. Hey, kind of like you guys. Folks, we are off to our final commercial break. We'll be back in a flash with the rest of today's show with no name. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Tune in right after today's program for the one and only Ximena Holiday. Join her as she puts you and Nacho to the test. She's going to make sure you guys are on your toes. En los dedos del pie? Yeah. On your toes. Espabilados. Atentos. Al loro, as you say. Yo me acuerdo, la primera que me lo dijo un amigo, tío, al loro. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about a parrot for? You guys have some funny idiomatic expressions in Spanish, and we've got our share too in English. También tenemos nuestro turno, nuestra porción, our share. No, nuestra porción. Lo compartimos. De hecho, acciones se llaman stocks or shares. All right, amigos, welcome back. So much to do here in the fourth and final part of the show. So everybody get ready for
some challenges up ahead. All right, well, let's kick off with a section where we look at words that tend to be a bit tricky and we demystify them. It's homophones.
Homophones, homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with homophones.
That's right, amigos. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And here's where we take a look at words that may or may not sound the same. You are going to tell me. Also, nice job, Vero. Vero joining Laura and Kubla in today's Say What soundbite. Excellent job. Wow, you guys are super show with no namers. Great job. All right, let's see how you do in the homophones section. The first word is a type of fruit. It's a type of fruit that's in season in the summer. It's a type of fruit I know you eat pretty often here in Spain, at least in Almeria, in our region over there, you know? So ciruela is the one in Spanish. Ciruela, okay? And I got to say, I'm not a huge fan, but we have trees. My family, as you know, we have different, we have land in Almeria. So we have some almond trees, some orange trees, olive trees, and we also have some of these. ¿Qué? ¿Crees que te lo iba a decir, eh? No. All right. And the second word is plomada o plomo. O sea, un peso, algo que ponemos, right? So cuando tienes que, por ejemplo, hacer una medida, tiene abajo you say plomada, plomo, o sea, algo que pesa para que, como un ancla, right? Also, it means vertical, a plomo. Okay. What else does it mean? Conectar. Okay. Conectar algo al agua, al suministro de agua. Let's see what you guys. Well, let me give you the Say What soundbite in the meantime.
That's rather up to Stephen, don't you think? Completely. Listen, I'm taking my marching orders from Stephen. He seems to be satisfied with this arrangement. So don't force any issues unless you want to cause plenty of trouble.
All right. There you go, amigos. There you go. That's your Say What soundbite for the fourth time. And let's see how you guys did on the homophone section. The first person to take a stab at it is Laura. And Laura gives us these two words. Excellent, Laura. Those are the correct words. So great job there. And she says they sound alike. All right, Laura. Let's see if your classmates agree with you. Born to Iron Man. Nope, the first word is not correct. So I can't judge you on that one. No te puedo juzgar por esa. So does anybody else want to agree or disagree? Chris jumping on board. Chris, those are the correct words. And she says they could be homophones. Puede que sean. They could be homophones. All right, anybody else? Let's see. Monse says, I was going to say the same, born to Iron Man. Yeah, well, that's different. The word you guys are looking for, I think it's a little, a ver si se dice igual. No, okay, so vosotros estáis poniendo ciruela pasa, que eso sería prune. Okay, prune. Lo mismo que higo, un higo is a fig, right? Pero a dried fig es los que son pasas. Uvas pasas are not called grapes. They're called raisins. So just to give you an idea, it gets confusing when we talk about this stuff. So don't worry. But Monse, those are the correct words. And Monse says they're homophones as well. Well, let's just say both of these words and we'll get them right out of the way. Los vamos a quitar de medio en un segundo.
The first word, plum. Would you like a plum? ¿Te gustaría una ciruela? Okay. Plum. So I think it's an easy one porque es P-L-U-M. Now, also plum puede ser un double trouble porque plum es fácil. Que lo tiene fácil, lo tiene hecho. So Johnny has a plum job as a politician. He just sits in an office all day and gets paid a lot of cash. So plum, P-L-U-M. Ciruela, también bueno. Okay. Uno deseado por muchos. Oh man, you got a plum location. Your house is in a plum location. Perfecto. Okay. Now, the second word is that word, but with a B on the end. All right. So the question is that B silent or not? Well, you might have heard the word plum before with a B, pero como fontanero. How do you pronounce that? Porque a lo mejor eso nos puede ayudar. So fontaneros, plumber, ¿la B se pronuncia? Pregunto. Plumber. La B es muda. Ahora, ¿te ha ayudado a decir la palabra? Porque, ¿qué es lo que hace? Tiene plomos, ¿no? Tiene también to plumb something into the wall, or to plumb it into, es conectarlo a una fuente de agua. So it makes sense that a plumber would do that. So, do they sound the same? The verb is plum, con B, totalmente muda, y ciruela, y buenísimo, plum. Yes, they are homophones. Ahí tienes tu double trouble. I got a plum from the fruit market, right? Or I picked a plum. So also, the edge needs to be plumb. Es lo mismo que straight, recto, right? Aplomo makes sense. A ver si lo piensas, totally makes mistakes. It totally makes sense, excuse me. What I can't do is talk and then look at my notes, because then I'll just read my notes. Oh, man. All right. Well, excellent job in the homophone section, but we've got to move on to today's double trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is.
Give it up.
Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. It's double trouble only on the show with no name. And let's see how you guys do in the double trouble section. This is, again, one of the harder sections on the show every day, but I'm sure you guys will be able to figure it out. And in fact, I didn't know this one in Spanish, so I'm learning here too. Here we go. El entrenador va a ponerte a punto, ¿no? Va a ponerte en forma, hacer que mejores. En cuanto improvise con alimentos un batido de proteína. Ahora explico la segunda parte, okay? So the first part, el entrenador va a ponerte a punto, pero primero, ¿no? Va a hacer otra cosa. So, te va a poner a punto, te va a poner en forma, te va a hacer mejorar. En cuanto él improvise, y improvisar he puesto con alimentos, porque es preparar, elaborar, improvisar. Ese, ¿ok? Un batido de proteína. So mientras prepare improvisadamente, o en cuanto, is what I said there, en cuanto prepara, ¿no? Se prepara, se marca un batido de proteína. Okay? The phrasal verb in the second part is a way of saying to throw something together. Preparar algo medio improvisado. Okay? Es la palabra que busco. A lo mejor lo hago más claro diciendo eso. All right, so let's see. El entrenador va a ponerte a punto. Okay? Va a darte forma. Okay? That's an idiomatic expression too. En cuanto, as soon as, te doy esa parte, como esta es difícil, as soon as él prepara algo de forma improvisada, mientras él prepara de forma improvisada un batido de proteína. Whew. Oh my God. It's a lot easier in English, trust me. All right. Going once. Going twice. I'm surprised nobody's getting this. You guys are usually pretty on point. On point. No, no es en el punto. Poner a punto. On point, acertados. Clavados, right? On point. Anyone? Oh, come on. I'm in shock right now, guys. Nobody? Oh, hang on. Monse says, hang on. I'm going to take a stab at it. And let's see what Monse had to say. The coach is going to smooth you up as soon as he finishes the smoothie. I like it. I like it. It's not exactly the same. So yes, a smoothie es un batido. And to smooth something up is hacerlo más liso, hacerlo más suave, right? So if you have like a wood block and you want to smooth, you use sandpaper, lija, I think you say. So good. Monse, I give you an applause because credit is always given for creativity here on my show, right? Because a lot of times in life, we don't know the answer. So what do we have to do? Make it up. And great. I applaud that. Kubla, the coach is going to tune you up as soon as he tunes up a protein milkshake. Again, Kubla, excellent creativity there. But we don't tune up a milkshake. But to tune you, eso me vale para la primera parte. So good. Great, guys. Wonderful. Laura says the coach is going to patch you up as soon as he patches together the protein smoothie. I love it too, Laura. Because to patch you up, though, it's como curarte, ponerte tiritas, to patch, so, o arreglarte. So it's a little bit different. But guys, you know what? Excellent effort, honestly. Okay. Chris says the trainer is going to shake you up as soon as he finishes the protein shake. I'll tell you what, Chris, that's not the one I have written, but that's the closest one in meaning to what I have here. So, Chris, wow. Okay. Shake you up, removerte, como ponerte en forma. So I like it. The trainer is going to shake you up as soon as he finishes the protein shake. I love it. I'll take it. And all of you did a great job. But here's what I have. The trainer or the coach, can be a personal trainer, right? Entrenador can be either one, is going to whip you into shape. Now, what is the word whip? A whip is un látigo. Is that how you say it? I don't even know. What Indiana Jones has. Yeah, that thing. That's a whip. So if you think about that, if somebody's going to whip you into shape, están ahí, vamos, dame otros 10. Venga. So to whip somebody into shape. Here it says, okay, mira, aquí lo ponen no con una persona, sino con un departamento. The new manager was determined to whip the department into shape. También se puede decir lick, que también es un latigazo, es a lick. So interesting, pero es la misma palabra. Yo diría whip, porque bueno. So the new manager was determined to whip the department into shape. Ponerles en forma, ¿no? Ponerles a punto, darles, ¿no? Redirigirles, mejorar. Okay, I think those are different connotations that this expression has. So the second part now, the trainer is going to whip you into shape as soon as, en cuanto, as soon as he whips up a protein shake. And to whip up, I think I looked at it in the cooking episode of FYI. So if you haven't heard it, I say it all the time. I say to my wife, what are we going to have for dinner? Oh, let me see what's in the fridge and I'll whip something up. Improviso algo, preparo algo improvisado. And whip is batir, como, toma, ya lo tienes. Think about it, makes sense. And the other whip is, otros 10, venga, hay que poner orden aquí. So the trainer is going to whip you into shape as soon as he whips up a protein shake, or a protein smoothie. All right, folks, it's time for your favorite section. You're joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right, amigos. You're joking. Let's see if you get these jokes. If you get them, awesome. If not, I will explain them afterwards. All right, let's take a look then over here. How did the plumber feel? And we looked at that word plumber. No tiene una B muda. As we said, we looked at the word plum. So how did the plumber feel when he gave blood? Donar sangre. No? When he gave blood. Oh, easy. He felt drained. No. How did the plumber feel when he gave blood? Drained. Okay, to drain is escurrir, drenar, vaciar. A drain is un desagüe, plumbers, right? But also drained means exhausted. Oh, man, agotado, piénsalo. Te ha quitado todo. No, te ha drenado la energía. If you think about it like that. Man, I am drained. What a busy week it's been. Another way of saying tired. So do you get it now? How did the plumber feel when he gave blood? Drained. Drenado, le quitaron la sangre. And drain es desagüe, porque es donde ahí donde va el agua. And drain, agotado. All right. I got another one for you. What's the one thing professional poker players and plumbers can agree on? Okay. So what is the one thing professional poker players and plumbers can agree on? Well, a royal flush is better than a full house. No. A royal flush is better than a full house. Well, a royal flush, yo no soy experto en esto, but you can find out all about this in the episode of FYI on Las Vegas. Okay. So a royal flush is you get ace, high, straight. So a hand consisting of an ace, a king, a queen, a jack es en las cartas. A royal flush. Also flush es tirar de la cadena. A royal flush. So a royal flush is better than a full house. A full house is cuando tienes todo de la misma, the same suit. And a full house, la casa está llena, no sale nada, no sale, doesn't flush. Okay, last one. What do plumbers have when they fall asleep? Easy. Pipe dreams. No? Well, pipe is tubería, and dreams, sueños de tubería, but that doesn't make too much sense there. Pipe dreams? Well, pipe dreams also has a secondary meaning. So pipe dreams, a ver cómo lo traducen. Sueños imposibles, quimeras, sueños dorados, pipe dreams. All right, folks, we've got to move on to famous birthday trivia. That's right, folks. It's famous birthdays, and we're going to fly through it because we are so out of time here. I mean, we're going to go 150 miles per hour here. The first person was born in 1957. She's an American actress. She's been in many movies. Joe versus the Volcano. Today's Name That Movie, The Fisher King. She was also in Pulp Fiction, and her last name sounds like Fontanero. Number 2. Number 2 is a guy born in 1968. He is the lead singer of the group Blur and the group Gorillaz, a very famous frontman in the music world. And last but not least, she was born in 1904 today, an American film actress. She started out on Broadway, and then she went to MGM, where she was in so many movies. She's won Academy Awards. And there was a movie and a book written about her life called Mommy Dearest, Querida Mama. I don't know what you call it in Spanish. It's a crazy movie, by the way. So she lived a pretty intense, crazy life, but she will always be remembered as an actress from Hollywood's heyday, El Apogeo. All right, number 1 is Amanda Plummer. Number 2, Damon Albarn from Gorillaz. And number 3, Joan Crawford. Nice job, Chris. And Kubla, I said that in Spanish with the Spanish pronunciation. This is Joan Crawford in a scene from The Women. And she says, that's rather up to Stephen, don't you think? It's about an affair, un asunto. No, es una decisión de Stephen, no? Listen, I'm taking my marching orders from Stephen. My marching orders es, te tienes que pirar. Okay, que me eche él, es lo que viene a decir. He seems to be satisfied with this arrangement, con este acuerdo. So, don't force any issues unless, tienes que usar unless, a no ser que, you want to cause plenty of trouble. Here she is, star of stage and screen from Hollywood's heyday, birthday girl, Joan Crawford.
That's rather up to Stephen, don't you think? Completely. Listen, I'm taking my marching orders from Stephen. He seems to be satisfied with this arrangement. So don't force any issues unless you want to cause plenty of trouble.
And folks, it's time for our final section, Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, folks. That's right. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name. And wonderful job to all of you. Great job, folks. Great job. All right. Well, today's song, I'll give it to you. It is Gorillaz, the group Gorillaz, with the birthday boy Damon Albarn as the lead singer. And the song is called Rhinestone Eyes. And rhinestone is diamante de imitación, diamante falso, Rhine, como el río, the Rhine. So Rhinestone, it's called Rhinestone Eyes. If you want to look up the lyrics, si queréis buscar la letra, I'd love to sing it along with you as we say goodbye. Once again, you guys did a great job today. You always do a wonderful job, so keep up the great work. Remember, you got tons of amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio. Yep, all afternoon, folks. So stay tuned, and we'll be back tomorrow with more. I promise. Bye-bye.
I'm a scary gargoyle on a tower that you made with